Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. In today's video I will explain how you can pretty easily make a lot of gold with all the different Darkmoon decks. And this is something you can do on any of your characters even with a level 1, and you don't need to have any professions in order to do that. So this is really easy. The only requirement is to invest a little bit of gold in order to buy all the different materials you need in order to craft these different decks. And of course, keep in mind that you will have to sell these items on the auction house. So if you're not a big fan of the auction house, if you don't like to interact with it and to sell items there, and also if you're not a big fan of like just investing your gold in some of these items and then trying to sell them, maybe this is not the best technique for you. But otherwise, I can guarantee you that in most cases, you will make quite a lot of gold just by doing this very simple technique. So the first thing you want to do is to go on your auction house and to check the value of all the different Darkmoon decks. So here it's very important because you want to invest only in the ones that can actually reward you with a profit. So once you've seen the value of all of them, you then want to just check the value of all the different aces from Dragonflight. So you have the ace of air, frost, earth, and fire. And then you just want to simply compare the value of the deck and the value of the ace in order to see if you can make a profit or not. So here, for instance, if I take the example of this realm, as you can see, the ace of air is only 30k, but the Darkmoon deck is selling for 93k. So here I will definitely make a lot of profit just by buying that and crafting the deck. Same with the Darkmoon deck of Inferno, because the ace of fire is 50k and this one sells for 85k. But then, as you can see, for instance, the one for the Frost is not really like that great at the moment. So here I won't try to craft this one because the value is not interesting enough. This one I crafted it in advance and the prices are like decreased a little bit, but it's still a pretty decent profit that I can make with this one. Then when you decide on which ones you want to craft, the only thing you want to do is buy the 8 different cards of each of these decks. So here you will have, for instance, to buy the ace of air, and then one of each of these cards. So as you can see, all these different cards are usually extremely cheap. For instance, for fire, it's less than 100 gold for each of them. So on average, normally this is really the value you have to pay, the one of the ace, and then you can probably like just add 1 or 2,000 depending on which series of cards you're trying to craft to the value of the ace. And then you just want to click on the cards. They will just be combined into this deck, and then you can directly sell the deck on the auction house. So this is really something that is extremely easy, that should not require you too much time or effort. The only thing you want to do is, well, invest a little bit of your gold and also just try to sell it on the auction house. So sometimes you will have to undercut a little bit if there is a lot of competition in order to sell it. One thing that I really want to insist on is the fact that the value of both the different aces and of the decks can change quite a lot. So what you want to do is really just craft one of the decks and not like 2 or 3 of them each time, because otherwise you might just lose some gold. For instance, here, as you can see, I just crafted one of each because, again, they are all interesting, but I'm not going to craft, like, for instance, 3 of the Darkmoon deck of Dance, simply because the value is good right now. Because, again, you never know when the value can decrease. For instance, this one, the Darkmoon deck of Rhyme, as you can see, a couple of days ago, it was selling for a lot of gold, and in just one day, the value crashed. So, unfortunately, sometimes this is just how the market evolves. And so you just want to have one available. So if the market crashes, you can maybe get rid of this one or just keep it and wait for the prices to go upper. But you don't want to have like 4 or 5 of them. So if you want to do this technique, really just craft one of each of the decks that are interesting at the moment and then try to sell them before crafting another one. This is my best recommendation in order for you to not lose any gold. So as we have seen, all the different aces are anywhere between 20 to 50k gold on average on European realms, and keep in mind these are region-wide commodities, so they're the same for everyone. And then on the US realms, for the ace of air is going to be on average 30k gold, for the ace of earth 35k gold, for the Ace of Frost 35k gold and the Ace of Fire 50. So it's very similar to the European region. When it comes to the value and the average value on European realms for the deck of Inferno, it's going to be between 75 to 80k gold. So pretty good. And of course you have a few realms where, as you can see, the value is really not interesting, but most of them you should be able to make even like 20 or 30k gold profit pretty easily. On US realms, this one is going to be a very similar 75 to 81k gold. And again, on most realms, you will be able to make at least 20k gold profit on really average. Then for the Darkmoon deck of Dance, the Air one, it's going to be between 65 to 71k gold on average on European realms. And again, as you can see on most realms, it's pretty decent. And then on US realms, it's 57 to 62k gold. Then for the one of Frost, it's 58 to 66k gold on average on European realms and 55 to 61k gold on US realms. And finally, the one of Earth is going to be 56 to 65k gold on average on European realms and then 55 to 61 on US realms. So really keep in mind again that the value of the different decks can really vary from one realm to another, so very important for you to first check the value on your realm, and also keep in mind that it always evolves, so sometimes one deck might be a little bit cheaper and then 1 week later it might be like way more interesting. So always just have a look, and if you see that at some point in time there is one deck that is interesting, then you might want to try, and then you might make quite a lot of gold just by selling it on the auction house. And also keep in mind, it will probably never really go lower than the initial cost of the different aces, simply because no one wants to craft these different decks and then lose money. So even if sometimes you might have a little bit of a difference, you might maybe lose 5k, something like that maximum. And in my opinion, it's not something that is very like risky. So this is my main recommendation for this technique, and I really hope you will be able to try it on and to make a lot of gold with it. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime, I wish you all a great week. Bye!